First off, what is the ideal viewing experience? Well, according to John Belton and Stephen Price, the ideal viewing experience is the cinema, a dark room, a big screen, surround sound, and no distractions. But is this really the ideal viewing experience? In recent years, cinema has become sort of an activity rather than an experience, something to take your kids to in the half term, rather than go indulge in a creator's artwork. But I have to say, when people take the cinema experience seriously, it is possibly the ideal way to watch film. But this is on very rare occasions, and everyone in the room has to be on board. For example, events. Cinema events such as midnight releases or marathon runs bring in die-hard fans of the piece of media being shown. It's a cinema experience tailored to the fans, so you know the people there are all going to be on the same page as you and the film. But can you recreate this experience? Many people will try and replicate the cinema experience at home, making their viewing space similar to the cinema, such as turning off all the lights, closing all the curtains, removing all distractions, and recreating cinema snacks. Some would say this is better than the actual cinema experience, as you're in the comfort of your own home, you don't have to go out, it's cheaper, and it takes out all of the annoying, tedious parts of the cinema experience. But in return, you get a slightly less exciting experience. Some people love all the products of the cinema and feel it adds to the cinema experience. But a lot of people just want to get in and watch the film they paid to see. Staying at home, you would be saving money on such things as petrol funds, parking, the snacks you would buy, and the cinema tickets. A lot of the times I've been to the cinema, we've all gone to get food afterwards, so eventually the cost does add up. Like I said earlier, this adds to the experience and makes the day more memorable and the film special. But the money does start to add up if you're an avid moviegoer. But does staying at home really save money? To truly recreate that cinema experience John Belton and Stephen Price talk about, you're going to need a pretty big TV, which are expensive, comfy seats, and decent sound equipment. After a while, to get decent appliances, the money does start to add up. Most of the big mainstream cinema chains in the UK have created a sort of subscription service. You pay about as much as 2 cinema tickets a month, and you can see an unlimited amount of movies, with the price of the tickets covered by this subscription. This is big, especially for customers who go to the cinema a lot. As we all know, the cinema provides us with new releases, new and exclusive films you can only watch at the cinema until they release after its run. This creates FOMO, the fear of missing out, a sense of urgency that you have to go see this film right now, or you're going to have to wait and miss out. In recent years, home viewing has become the more preferred viewing due to the rise of streaming platforms such as Netflix, Amazon, and Disney. Before streaming, there was limited ways to find the film you wanted to watch. It was mainly buying or renting a physical copy, or waiting till they were on TV and watching it then. Streaming unlocks so many doors for the future of cinema. I think its biggest feature is that it can serve as a re-release for a lot of films. If a film has released back in the day before streaming, and people had forgot about it, if it's dumped on, say, Netflix, a boost in views for that film will happen, bringing it back into the spotlight. Having multiple streaming services in today's world is the equivalent of having an entire Blockbuster store in your living room. These streaming services cost money. The average person, according to a study by Rob Marvin, pays £33 a month. Although in the past years, streaming services have boomed in users, mainly due to 2 reasons. Number 1 being the content on streaming services has risen exponentially since they were first rolled out. With original content you can only access on them sites to Oscar-winning films, they've made themselves exclusive. The other reason is due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Cinemas are closed, and the only ones that are open people feel unsafe to go to, but they still want to watch films, so streaming services are the next logical step. At the end of the day, people just do what they want. If they love the cinema, they'll go there. If they want to stay at home, they'll just do that. As for the future of viewing film, with everything that's been happening in the past few years, there's bound to be a big shift in the way we watch films. With acclaimed director Christopher Nolan saying, "Warner Brothers had an incredible machine for getting a filmmaker's work out everywhere, both in theatres and in home, and they are dismantling it as we speak." This was him talking about the recent decision by Warner Brothers to dump all of the films that were meant to come out last year on HBO Max this year, ripping them from the cinema. Kevin McDonald and David Smith-Rousey suggest in their book The Netflix Effect that looking forward today, it is easy to see a future in which Netflix, HBO, Comcast and Google dominate the media and entertainment. But it is just as easy to see a future in which Netflix or any other of these has completely disappeared. Theorizing that maybe another viewing experience different from the cinema or streaming will take over, similar to how streaming is now.